Joining us live is historian, writer and broadcaster Dr Tessa Dunlop. Great to see you. What a day it has been in this fine city. You just used a great word, a lot of future-proof going on today.
Absolutely. In fact, there's been a lot of future-proofing going on for the last 12 days, but it was very visual today, where you saw George, 9, nothing, remember, when it comes to the royal family, is done spontaneously or by accident. Very deliberately, George was placed in that procession beside his daddy, who is the new Prince of Wales, looking 10 foot tall in that uniform.
Yeah, he did look tall, didn't he?
Yeah, handsome two-piece.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
just going to own it there. William was looking good. And
there he is, look.
There he is. Yeah. I mean, not so good actually from that perspective. But anyway, and then of course there's Charles, the new king, and you've got the line there, the continuity, the reassurance. Yeah. You know, I'm not a betting woman, but 2nd of June next year will be the 70th anniversary of what would have been the Queen's coronation, and I put money on continuity. That will be Charles' coronation.
So, is there a problem with future-proofing?
Well, it's why the British monarchy has survived for as long as it has. And in fact, what's really interesting about this mourning period, which is really highly unusual in a modern secular world where everything moves really fast, that we take out this time to remember, yes, an exceptional woman in an exceptional reign, but still, it was an extraordinary period. One of the reasons is Operation London Bridge, sending off the Queen, respecting her, means that Operation Springtide, which is the name for Charles, getting him in there as the new king, dissent, really, it would be distasteful to complain too much or to protest. But if you think, normally at the beginning of most reigns of any leader, presidents, controversial ones particularly, or unelected ones, that's when you say if you've got an issue with it. But not in the case of the monarchy, because we're mourning the late monarch. So it's interesting.
Dr Tessa, there's a big love bubble going on around this country at the moment. What is that? Is this because there's young and old on the streets, and it's a beautiful thing what's happening, but is that bubble about to burst? And what is the divide about, you know, whether the monarchy is modern enough? Do young people just simply not care? What is it?
I'm a constitutional monarchist. I love the fact America's a little bit envious of us. I love the fact they've got this elective kingship and they just wish that they could have their symbols, you know, detached from people like Donald Trump. They can't. Sorry about that, America. But I am worried when we go for it in the super uber reverential way we've gone for it on our state media in particular, because it's only speaking to about 55% of the population. And I think it's quite tin-eared. And I would have loved a bit more discursiveness, a bit more analysis of what we were doing, what was bringing people out. There was this one note. It was for the Queen, it was reverence for the Queen, and it was also actually for the new King. And I believe it was much more complex than that. We've been quite a divided country, in case it's escaped Australia's notice. I'm sure it's even reached you, you know, down under, where Brexit, Scotland versus England, rich versus poor, left versus right. There's, you know, the devolved nations didn't exist in the way they do now for Elizabeth when she ascended the throne. So this has been soothing. It's like eating a big nursery pudding from the 1950s. It makes us all feel good, gives us a warm feeling in our tummy.
We're totally on board with
that.
Do you not think
the love hug. You know, we're all kind of in it.
I feel patriotic for you.
Do you? But do you know, I feel I wanted you to be part of my party.
Well, I mean, now you've got stirring renditions of God Save the King.
But you're having a holiday soon, aren't you, in Australia? A bit late. Why is your national holiday on the 22nd?
I don't know.
Well, what's the day today? I don't even know what the date is today.
It's the day before school holidays start. So.
Do you not think it'll get a boost out of all of this?
He's had a boost. They've
had a
massive boost, and Britain's had a boost.
Yeah.
This, I mean, talk about international staging. It's priceless. Yeah. This is picture postcard Britain. Yeah. Even the sun popped out.
Yeah,
it was
You've had great weather the last 2 weeks.
I mean, I've done interviews all over the world, and people, it's back-to-back news. Money can't buy that. But my worry is here domestically that once there's been time to breathe, you know, and once the sheen and the respect, the reverence has dissipated, Charles has got a rocky old road. He's not a young man. You can't teach an old dog new tricks, God bless his soul, okay? And he's got a challenging brother. He's got a challenging son. He's got a few challenging charitable habits where he collects money in bags and stuff. None of this has been talked about. It's really convenient, but it's gonna bubble away. And also relationship. Willie with the hat. Willie with Prince William. Yes, I know, but Willie's a busy boy. He's got 3 kids. I can call them the Cambridges. The Waleses have massively got their work cut out, and we like a big, present royal family, and there's not that many, and they're not that young. So I think I'm concerned, and I'm also worried about countries like you, because once a few start peeling away, at the moment he's king of 14 other realms.
Yeah. Well,
then there's a bit of a drip.
Australia would be the biggest blow, wouldn't
Massive blow, body blow.
it? Yeah, I mean, not quite as big as Scotland, but up there if it happened.
But remember, Scotland, I don't think, certainly not for the foreseeable future, would get rid of the crown. The union of the crown's totally separate and 100 years earlier from the political union. We love to conflate them. And certainly the Queen said in 1977, I have been, you know, crowned the Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. She was absolutely steadfast on that. But you can be the King of Scotland and the king of a sort of shorn-off Britain, Wales and maybe Northern Ireland. That's looking shaky too.
It's interesting though, but it's worth pointing out to our audience that there's a lot of broadcasters over here who openly talk about Australia and the fact that there is a push.
Actually, they were talking about it before we were, to be frank.
Yeah, so in the weekend newspapers...
So there's concern about it.
Yeah, I'm concerned. I've got actually one of my nephews is in Australia and he's a member of the Green Party. And I read, I haven't challenged him with this, that actually the younger generation are more pro-Charles, or at least not as anti-Charles, as my generation. Because we all remember... the Diana narrative.
I think that's true.
And that's really stuck in Australia and I think in a lot of the Commonwealth and in the realms. We've got used to Camilla now. She's like the sort of old auntie that might give you a gin.
She's great.
Yeah, and
Princess Anne, where has she been
I'll give you a
hiding?
gin.
But do you know why she's done so well here? Because the right-wing press have got on side. So once you've won over the Daily Mail and the tabloids, but she doesn't have that power, I don't think, in countries like Australia. You still remember more prominently the Diana narrative. So I was interested and hopeful that maybe your young green, you know, the kind of bushfire fighting kids might push for Charles. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I reckon maybe.
Is that a bit...
I'm
it's a bit tenuous?
You've been lively.
Yeah, well, I told you, a breakfast show.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah, right, so I've been up all night. Which camera is it? Morning, Australia.
Good morning. I look forward to getting you on again soon.
Love it.
Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.